Hello, 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 hello. It is Monday. It is Monday and it is time for another stream. Welcome back, Yash. Hope you had a great weekend and hope you got into this week quite, I don't know, eventful. Hopefully went good. Mondays can be, can be pretty annoying sometimes, but hope everything's been going well. Today, we're going to go into another topic. Last week we modeled the scythe. Last week we modeled the scythe for the character. The weapon, we went into creating the body and then adding some plating around the main part of the scythe. I'm going to finish that still. It's not fully done. I'm going to do that off stream. Because, yeah, I wanted to this week go into another topic, which is the Wraith. The only real thing that we really need to add to make the, I guess, figurine complete. Once the scythe is ready, the last part of the sort of figurine that we're building right now, after the character, which is already done, is the Wraith. The Wraith is sort of like, hovering over the shoulder of the character, and that's what we're going to add today. So we're going to start with blocking out the general shapes, his limbs and all that stuff. He's pretty simple, so it shouldn't take too long to block everything out, and then we can go into the sculpt mode and add some more details to all the pieces. We're going to block it out first, then we're going to combine everything, and then we're going to use sculpting to create the actual, I guess, character. Tried a bit of environment creation yesterday. Oh, nice. Still stuck at character creation for animation. You mean suck or stuck? Both could work there, I guess. I actually, so for a while I was doing environment modeling for the quick sketches, which was pretty fun. I learned, so what I like to do with these quick sketches, I like to go into different topics that I haven't really done too much, like environment modeling or, well, now we're in sculpting, but especially for environment modeling, for example, I wanted to, do that for the quick sketches so I can learn a little bit more about how you would do that, how you could build, environments in 30 minutes, for example. And suck. Oh no. I mean, the more you do, the better you get. And yeah, I learned quite a lot through that, and I think, just practice, and at some point, you're gonna create awesome characters, and that's how I learned environment modeling as well. So we have two topics as per usual today. We're going to start with the 30-minute quick sketch. 30 minutes of creating a character or creating a piece in 30 minutes sculpting. And then we're going to render it and, do some post-processing. And then afterwards, we're going to go to the actual topic for today's stream, which is the Wraith. We're going to begin modeling the Wraith. I don't think we're going to use... Well, on Thursday, we will have the personal feedback session. So, if you want to submit your own pieces to get feedback on, you can always do that in the Discord, or you can also just ask questions, which we're then going to cover on the stream. But yeah, I don't think we're necessarily going to work on the Wraith all the way to Thursday. Well, like for 3 days. I'd like to I like to, I guess my sort of time that I sort of allocate to certain tasks is usually pretty low. It usually takes longer, so I don't want to, speak too highly. But I don't think it's gonna take that long. But let's see. Let's not hype ourselves up too much, or I don't know. let's not say something wrong. So, someday use your face pic as reference for sculpting. I mean, I should use myself, like sculpting myself while sculpting myself. That would be interesting. I've seen a video about of that recently. I don't know who did it though. Walkback Hustler. I hope you have enjoyed your weekend as well. Maybe even your Monday. I mean, it's not really a weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed your regular work days, where everybody else is not working. Okay, I would say let's not... Oh, of course, if you only want to see one of these topics, 30-minute quick sketch or the Final Fantasy Reaper Wraith modeling workflow. There should be timestamps in the description and also in the timeline. Let's go to Blender. There you go. And look at that beautiful creature that we're going to sculpt today. The prehistoric chicken. Still with big teeth instead of a beak. That's what we're going to sculpt today. Okay, yeah. It's always kind of, you know, the problem with well, let's start and then we can talk about it. Hold on. Is everything ready? Everything's ready. Symmetry on. Hold on. Okay, perfect. Okay. I would say we can begin this quick sketch in 3, 2, 1, go. There you go. Okay. So you know what the problem is now that usually I don't really have big problems, or for a long time I didn't really have big problems finding inspirations or, pieces that we could, wow, I hate when that happens, that we could do or that you can do for these quick sketches. But it's, of course, the more you do, the harder it gets. The most annoying part is I usually use Pinterest to find my pieces. And the problem is that if I, look at an image, I think the way it works on Pinterest is if you click on something, because there's this list of all the images that you might find interesting. And I think if you don't scroll through, I think the longer you stay on an image so that it's on your screen, the longer that is the case, the more likely it is to be like, for it to there be another piece that looks like that to be recommended to you. So if you, for example, stay at, I don't know, food pictures for, a certain amount of time, then you're going to see more food pictures in your feed. If you look for, and then if you click for it, I guess the likelihood is even higher. And the problem is, because I, always want to find something new, I can't really use my feed anymore because I always find the same pictures, and I always have to come up with some, some new sort of words that I could type in and look up to find something. I wonder if there's like a website that would just give you like a random, I don't know, like a random image in a certain category, as some inspiration, like your daily inspiration or something, maybe. I don't know. Probably. I just don't know of it. I love how this scythe looking. Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's not fully done. I need to work on it. I didn't work on it over the weekend, but it's almost done. The only thing that is missing is the what is it? The back part with the small little orb in the back, and then it's done. I'm actually kind of happy how it turned out. I'm really going to be happy once we basically finish the entire thing. I'm kind of debating whether or not we want to, or I want to sort of shade the entire thing like as if it's like a real figurine with some dust on it and some like just colored basically. Or I want to make it like as it's like an in-game model, for example, with some effects and some stuff like that. I don't really know what I want to do there, but we have some more time to, I guess, sort of think about that. Today we're going to do the Wraith, so this week at least we're still, working on the overall model. Welcome back, Ari. I hope you have enjoyed your weekend. Maybe, hopefully, university wasn't too hard, I guess. Hopefully it was interesting. Hope that's the most interesting thing. And yeah, so just going on session sort by new. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't tried ArtStation yet. I usually only use Pinterest because usually you find something pretty quickly. But now I'm kind of running out of, I guess, terms to look for. So I can try that too. Monday was a disaster. I mean, is that something new? Isn't that always the case? The worst is when you look for, or when you have like a bad Saturday, or no, yeah, when you have a bad Saturday and then it's late, it's like Saturday evening, and you think, oh dude, Sunday isn't really like a full weekend day. And then it's already Monday. Oh no, I only have like a half day left. It's, you know, if you really think about it, you really only have like two, well, I like to count Friday as like a weekend day as well, at least the second half, and then you have the second half from Sunday, well, the first half of Sunday, which means you have like 2 days instead of 3. Well, you always have 2 days. Yeah, never mind. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, I'm getting distracted already. Let me see. I'm doing pretty good. I have 2 weeks of vacation now, so I can spend some more time on the things that I like more than working. So that's good. So I can work some more on some smaller videos, bigger videos, some you know, the character or the figurine, and overall just, you know, enjoy the free time, I guess, which is always nice. Do you actually have free time in university? I can't remember. Do you have stuff like that? Is there like a vacation days, or how does that work again? I can't remember. I was never like studying in university, so I don't really know. I can't really remember either if I ever heard something like that. Have all your work sorted it out? Have all your work sorted it out for your vacation? Do you mean have I like, did I basically finish all my work before I went on vacation? Well, I did a little bit more overtime on Friday. It's just so I can basically make a quick briefing for all the projects that I would give to others, and then also hold on, 23 minutes. Okay. So of course we need to clock our time. So I usually note down what I did on that day, and then I would write it in the like sort of time tracking software or whatever you want to call it. So I did that after my usual, I guess, work hours, and I also did some like more elaborate briefings, I guess. So if somebody's working on my projects, he just goes into the project folder, and then there's a small briefing for it. I don't like well, I don't like having to, you know, work on my weekend, like in my vacation, when I forgot something. So I try to be pretty thorough with that. Welcome, Clutch. Hope you have enjoyed your last meal. Okay, let's see. Hope you had a great day, of course, as always. And I also want to try something new for the feedback session. So it just came to me when I wrote that message, or the sort of notification in the Discord, that we cannot only, like, you know, it kind of dawned on me that some people might not want to post something because they don't, you know, some people don't like posting on social media because they don't want to, you know, they just don't want to. Some people just don't like it. And I think another way to sort of, I guess, help would be to just answer questions if there are any that, you know, somebody posts in the questions channel, for example. So if you ever have any questions and you want them to be answered, of course, other people can always answer in the Discord. I will probably too, but we can also answer them maybe more elaborate in on stream, which I think could be another way to sort of make the Thursday streams, or at least the Thursday streams where we do the feedback session, a little bit more valuable to, I guess, more people. My boy made some pasta with spinach and it was yummy. Oh, nice. Spinach is always nice. Never heard both combined. Okay, let's we need to speed up here. We have 20 minutes. We're gonna run low on time. Let's see. Let's add the neck. I also want to add the feathers. They're quite spread out, so we need to do some snake hooking. But let's see. Invert. Let's hook some snakes here. Perfect. Next week, I want to publish the publish. Yeah, I guess publish the video explaining all the Blender brushes, how they work in detail. So I need to do some more research and actually, you know, edit the video. I said I will upload a new video on Friday, which didn't happen. So I made a mental note that I will never say when I will upload a new video. I did that quite a few times now, and it didn't turn out how I wanted it. So I'll just not do it anymore. I don't want to tease anybody. And then not, you know, not follow up on that promise. My third channel, hold on. Have you thought of doing more challenging sculpt Saturday or Sunday in 1 or 2 hours and adding that to the third channel? Sometimes I like to create or turn my quick sketches into 1 or 2 hour sculpts. But I think if I want to see how so I did it a while ago, like 1 or 2 weeks ago. The video that came out today, where I explain my workflow from that quick sketch, will be followed up tomorrow by a time lapse. I just want to see, you know, if that's something, you know, how that turns out, and then maybe I'll do, you know, if I do 1 or 2 hour quick sketches again, I'll probably just upload them to the main channel. I think that's more, I guess, a better use of resources. I can focus more on 2 channels instead of 3 is kind of my thought process right now. So if I, you know, do something that could also be put on the third channel, I can just put it on the video channel. Because, you know, I started uploading some smaller shorts, which I will continue. You know, I could also put them on the third channel, but why would I do that if I can just put them on the video channel? Because, you know, they're small videos and they're still sort of in line with what I want to do on my videos channel. And I think yeah, I would rather merge number 1 and 3 together. Okay, look at that dude. Isn't he beautiful? He looks pretty angry from the front, but from the sides he looks pretty cute. Tease anybody? No, I don't like teasing, okay? Well, I don't like, well, let's say I don't like, what is it? Disappointing. So that's probably a better word. Rather than teasing. Look at that, a perfect eye. He looks very suspicious now. I don't really know why, but very, very suspect. Hold on. I want praise. I don't know what I could use this word praise in good way. What? I was on course about some third models for games. Oh. You dominate 2. Discover your channel is being wonderful. A little covered subject is it fabric and UV clothing? I would love you explaining about that. Do you mean oh, you mean creating? Do you mean those are 2 separate topics, like UVs and fabric? What do you mean with fabric? Do you mean how to create clothing, or like the properties, or how to shade them, how to create a shader, a fabric shader? I made a, you know, small fabric shader in literally seconds video. But, you know, not really like a huge explanation of it. Okay, let's go into some more mid-level details. There you go. He definitely needs it. There you go. Go to the side as well. Ooh, look at that. How easy the crease brush can just add small details that can really enhance the look of a character. See? Look at it. Oh, first of all, welcome back, or welcome, como you fizz, or como I think that's Spanish. Como eu, I don't know how you would pronounce that in Spanish though. Trainer was Jacob Mandela from CD Projekt. No, I never had a trainer. If you want praise, come spam on topic in Discord with your scopes. Oh, yeah. It was 2 days for hard work, but it was worth it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to share, you know, if you want to, I guess, you know, get some praise for stuff, you can always post it in the Discord. You can always post your pieces in, for example, on topic or off topic. Usually, you know, there are people liking them or, you know, commenting on them. You can always, of course, ask for, you know, what you could do better next time to get even more praise. Okay. So, this one is pretty simple, actually, to sculpt. But, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to brag about something that I'm not going to be able to do in the end. So let's actually put in the work here. There you go. This weird little red, I don't know what you would call that, addition here at the bottom. Okay, so, oh, true. Oh, Discord works again. Nice. Yeah, that's not possible. How is it broken? I changed it today. We're gonna look at that afterwards. I changed it today. How is it broken? It can't be broken. You're just clicking it wrong. You need to click it the right way, okay? It's not his fault, okay? Not his fault that you can't click links. Okay. He looks like an old man. I don't know why though. I think I don't know why, but I tend to make these like the front of the head very, very long, especially for these alligator or reptile-like creatures. So I always have to push them back a little bit. The same with faces. Back in the day, I always made the noses, or I still do it. I make noses very, very long, so I have to mentally like make an effort to make them shorter, I guess. I got better at it, but still, sometimes I see, oh, that's quite long. Especially for likeness scopes. I don't know why, but I always sort of think, well, that looks pretty good. But then if I just make it shorter, it looks better. Okay. His eyes are too... Let's make him a little bit rounder. There you go. Yeah, that's better. Okay. This sort of piece here at the top looks kind of weird. Let's pull it out a little bit. Yeah, today will be a fun stream. Not that the other ones aren't, but this one will be more, I guess, dynamic, you could say. Boring poly modeling, you know? It's not... We'll not poly model today, okay? Which is quite technical, and I guess I would call it pretty boring. Now that I've done it for quite a while. Today we will block out the character, the Wraith, and then we will sculpt, you know, more details into it. So we're going to start with blocking out, and then we're going to begin, I mean, we're going to, well, begin, yeah, the details. I don't know how far we're going to get, because in general, the piece isn't, or the Wraith isn't too complex, but yeah. We'll see how far we'll get today. Sculpting, you know, stuff can be faster than poly modeling, so we'll see how far we get. But I'm excited to see the duo together. Okay. I make the mouth too small and cheeks too big. Yeah, there's, you know, good thing is it's like therapy, or, you know, solving any problem. Once you know that there's a problem, you can start solving it. You know, if you don't really know what you want, what you can improve to make your scopes look better, you know, then you're kind of screwed. But once you know what you can improve, then, you know, you're good to go. You can just focus on that and, you know, improve that from time to time, over and over and over again, in more and more scopes, and then at the end, you solve the problem. Okay, let's go to the front. The nose was kind of weird. Okay. There you go. So we have the front. Let's go to the back. The back has all these feathers, which I think we can do quite easily. Let me show you how I want to do them. So what I want to do first, I want to create a first layer of sort of these feathers. I just use the clay strips brush to make this sort of fur pattern. Lay out the general sort of, I guess, flow of these feathers. This is the first layer, just to kind of make, you know, so that there's nothing sort of smooth underneath, so it doesn't look like there's like skin underneath the feathers. Just making this first structure here will make it appear or make it look like the lowest layer, I guess, is very, very dense, and it doesn't seem like there's like skin coming through the feathers, because there isn't. There you go, at least in the reference. Okay, and then what I like to do is I like to grab my good old snakehook brush. I like to set it to fall off linear, and then we can pull out some hair. Da-da-da. I would like to know if there's a way to sort of increase the strength or the length you can pull this these pieces. The problem always is, I think it's because of the fall off. The fall off makes it so that you can't pull them as far as you want. You can see there's a certain distance that they get pulled out, but then it just ends. You can always make the fall off bigger. I mean, the brush bigger, that helps. But then you get this weird clumping, which I don't like. I wonder if there's a way to increase the length. You can always go to magnify and increase that. This makes it so that the sort of it gets oh, that actually works perfectly. Magnify basically sort of circumvents the fall off and makes it so that it sort of gets pushed out the further you go away from the original surface where you came from, which means you can pull it out further, which is actually perfectly what I wanted. Perfect. I like problems that solve themselves. There you go. Looks kind of weird right now because they all merge together, but we can also just do the opposite and just pull it back. Bring back the hair structure. There you go. Da-da-da. Nice hairstyle, bro. Looks very, very 2020-like. I had that hairstyle back in the day. You know, the mohawk in the middle, basically. This one isn't in the middle, but sort of like that. Save. Hold on. Not yet. Well, you know what? We have 7 minutes. Let's do that right now. Yesterday, I actually created the entire scope without saving once, which was pretty risky. That's always the worst when when Blender like freezes for a second and then you just, oh no, is everything gone? And it's just like a small like blip. Your mouse jumps for a second, but you're like, oh no, have I saved? Did I save? Okay. Quick sketch day 246. Making a video with the brushes, you should know and tell us. Well, that's what I do in the video. I already told you some secrets that I'm gonna reveal in that video. And I'm not gonna tease anymore, okay? That's the only teasing that I like to do. Teasing about things that I know I will cover. Okay. They look pretty sharp, but I think that's okay. Feathers are quite round most of the time, but I think for this, it can work. I think that's the. I think the look looks okay. How did you paint the scope from today's video? I did it in Photoshop. The way I showed it at some point, I can show it again. It's pretty simple. If you want to, color something and you don't want to spend time making creating materials, and you want to have it colored in a very, very certain way, which might not be 100% realistic, but gives it a certain style that you like, you can do it the way that I did it there. Vertex paint, yeah, vertex paint is pretty annoying. Maybe they, improve it at some point, maybe in Blender 3.0, but vertex paint is not really that great. Problem with vertex painting, of course, is you need a lot of vertices to have accurate painting, or that you can paint accurately, which, a lot of PCs can't handle, and it's getting quite laggy at some point. Works very, very well in ZBrush, but, what did you expect? Are you using a tablet? Welcome, Ghost Arts. Yes, I am using a tablet. I've been using a tablet since, what was it? Probably like 5 years now. Before I used it for digital drawing, digital painting. Now I use it for sculpting. So I went from 2D to 3D. We actually did a experiment where we used a mouse and compared it to a tablet, sculpting the same sculpt twice. It's not really super different. I thought there would be more sort of differences, but it was pretty similar. I think if you can control your mouse pretty well, it's pretty similar. Okay. Thought so. I got Clip Studio Paint and can get the same result. Yeah, I don't know how it works in Clip Studio, but I think there's a similar technique you can do there. Okay. Oh wait, it actually transitions from here down, right there, all the way down here. He's drooling fleshy tissue. There you go. 3 minutes? Oh no. Let's see. I mean, we're on a good path here. We're almost done. Let's do some more here. Okay, let me give you one more I guess tip that I'm gonna cover in the brush video. So if you use the smooth brush, of course, usually you just have any other brush selected and then you press shift to smooth stuff. But if you have the smooth brush enabled, just like any other or most other brushes, if you press Control, you have the opposite of that brush's effect. So with the smooth brush, if you, of course, just use it, you smooth stuff. Hold on. You smooth stuff. But if you use it with Control, if you hold Control, you do the opposite. You make everything sharper. Ooh. You can see it gets quite wild very, very quickly. But that can be pretty useful if you want to, I guess, enhance some details. So you can set the strength lower, maybe to 0.09. Doing that very, very lightly can very easily just enhance and sharpen some features. You can see how easily we can just increase the crease here, make the crease sharper. And that is very easily done just by using the smooth brush in the opposite way. And then, of course, if you do it more and more, it gets crazier and crazier and crazier. Ooh. It looks pretty rough sometimes, so you have to be careful with it. But it can be a pretty useful tool. I might do a video about that actually, how I painted that piece, because I think the technique can be quite useful. Of course, I can only really show it in Photoshop, but overall, yeah, I might just do that to show how it works, because it's quite simple. Okay. At least the way that I did it in the video. We have 55 seconds. I think what I want to do is I want to create some different... I want to create some different, I guess, surfaces here. So I'm going to smooth this fleshy bit. There you go, nice and smooth. Nice. And then add some small folds right there. There you go. Okay. 20 seconds, okay. Five seconds. Oh no, last 5 seconds, and we are done. I think it turned out quite well. It's not perfect, but that's the theme for these quick sketches. It's never enough, but that's okay. Are you going to ever make content that is in bite-sized pieces of information? I'm really interested in your hard surface sculpting tutorials, but watching 3-hour videos is pretty hard. There should be a link in the description to my videos channel. Hopefully that's what you're looking for. So I usually either turn the streams into videos if they think they can make, you know, they make good videos, or just make, I guess, like new content and use clips from the stream for these videos. So if you you know, want to have more bite-sized content, you can check that out. I haven't really done something about, or haven't really done hard surface sculpting as a video, but more like character sculpting or tips and tricks for characters. That's something that I've done for, you know, as videos. Sometimes I also do like shorts where I just, you know, make small explanations about stuff like how I created the my camera rig that I use for all my renders. If you're interested in how I did it, you can see it right here. Hold on. I will show you what I mean with my camera rig. You can see the camera, and the camera always focuses on the subject. It follows not the subject, it follows the empty right here. Woo. If you want to know how I did that, there should be a short coming out on Thursday. It's already scheduled, so I'm not saying something that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's going to come out on Thursday. 5 minutes, a very quick explanation. Okay, let's do this real quick. Get your bottles ready. It's time to drink soon. Oh no. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's add some eyes, and then we can go into the rendering part. Oh, not subdivisions. There you go. Oh, there should be a command actually. I think it's videos. If you type in videos, exclamation mark videos, there should be a Ninebot should give you a link to the videos channel. I think that's the command for it. You don't even need to scroll down. There you go. Small little eyes. He looks so happy. He looks so old and happy. Okay. Let's finish the quick sketch. I want to place it below, so it, I don't know, shows more of his face or his features. There isn't really that much on top of it in the middle of his head, so we can place it a little bit lower, somewhere over here. There you go. Just like the reference, and we can pull him a little bit further forward. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Let's do the test render so we can add some post-production. Oh, hold on. You can see what the problem is. Maybe you can't. We are missing lighting and also the texture. I mean, the material. So let's append that real quick. Oh, hold on. Delete this light. Okay. collection, light. Perfect. Looks horrible, but that's exactly what we wanted. Or I expected at least, because we need to adjust the material. Oh, that's the wrong material. Hold on. Not just the material, but also the lighting. There it is. Wait, oh, of course, I always click the wrong color. I mean, the wrong quick sketches, which have no materials. There you go. Quick sculpt. Okay. That's quite strong. Let's make it a little bit weaker. These lines are quite... These creases are too pronounced. That's probably better. There you go. Okay. Exclamation mark Discord. I heard the link isn't working, so let me just make a new one. I don't know why I always have to do that. Yeah, hold on. Copy. And paste. There you go. Okay. Let's light the dude. Or dudette. 3D cursor. Okay. I like it somewhere. So what I like to do now, I switched up my lighting sort of technique a little bit. What I like to do with my main light now is I like to light, or I like to highlight the main aspect of the piece. And then I use more smaller lights to sort of, I guess, you know, create some depth in areas where there is a lot of shadow, or there like in shadow areas. So I like to put my light on top on his face. Of course, you have these flaps here that sort of cover his eyes, which means we can't really, you know, we could place the light here in the front, but then we would make everything bright, which looks kind of weird. So what I like to do now is I like to add these smaller lights, which we can place somewhere over here. And this way we can still have some darkness here down there, but we can also create some depth here in the back. We can light it up a little bit, which will help with the overall depth of the piece. We can also reduce the strength, but I like to keep it at 50 for now, because we need to decrease the world lighting. That will make everything darker. There you go. Which makes it even you know, even deeper. We go into the depth of the image if you do that. See how we can just very easily create some structure here in the back? So I like to do that. I like to then add another one to do it again. Oh, that's the color. Okay. What is this one? Oh, hold on. I'm just going to make a new one. I guess that's the same. Yeah. I can place that somewhere over here, for example. Maybe up here. Create a secondary light. So now you can see down here is dark. Then here it's the darkest because the light is coming from top, which means if we only look at this small little piece right here, we have bright spots or semi-bright spots. We have mid-ground spots or mid-dark, mid-bright spots, and then we have dark spots. I think it's even more visible here. We go from very, very bright to medium brightness to no brightness, I guess. And then down here is fully dark. To kind of light up the darkness as well and kind of separate it from the background, we can then use another light, which will be the rim light. I usually like to use 1000 strength and then just place it somewhere over there to create a nice contour. There you go. We can also do the same here if you wanted to. I don't know if I want to. Nope, I don't want to. There you go. We have dark spots. We have some sort of medium light here. And then we have a bright spot at the top. And then, last but not least, we need color. Oh. Let's see. That's pretty cool. Let's set it to a different color. What about like this nice orangey? Oh, that's pretty cool. Set it to 5K. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah. Oh, no, never mind. Perfect. Okay. Let's do the first render, and then we can go into the post-production in Blender. There you go. Look at him. He's so happy that he finally achieved his final form. I like to stay in the same sort of resolution depth for these pieces, because I think even with 25 resolution on constant detail, you can still achieve a quite, it's not, you can see how rough it is, but I think even these rough edges can create a certain structure, which means you don't really need to go deeper. Of course, going deeper means you can add, we can smooth it and add overall more detail. But we only have 30 minutes, so it's not really, I guess, possible to add way more detail than what we already have with 25. Nope. There you go. So, yeah. Let's add a little bit of a glow. I don't know why it takes so long. Oh, that's a glowy boy. What if we set this to 6? Oh, there it is. What about 7? Okay, last few steps until we finish and finalize the image. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Time to render the final version. There you go. And as always, while this is rendering, it is time to drink something. Whether it is orange juice, whether it's apple juice, whether it's water, or any other substances. I prefer water. I don't want to judge though. Time to stay hydrated. Vodka? I mean, if you want. As I said, I'm not gonna judge. So if you like to drink alcohol, you could do that. I'm not the person at the party that says, well, alcohol is bad, you should drink it, do whatever you want. It's not my body. So, who am I to what is it? Prosecute? Not prosecute. Judge, but there was another word. Oh, who cares? Yeah, not the one that's gonna ruin your drinking experience. Oh, there it is. Very glowy. Wait, oh, I need to save it. Quick sketch day 2, 4, 6. By the way, if you've asked about it's hard watching 3-hour videos and making bite-sized content. If there's any any streams that maybe you like topic, you like the content, or you started watching it, but of course I can understand the 3 hours is quite long. If there's ever any any topics or any videos that you think you want to have, where you want to see a video about, rather a 10-minute video rather than a 3-hour video, then you can always put that in the comments, or hey, that would be cool as video, maybe elaborate some more on what you've said, or just overall questions or whatever. You can always post them wherever I can see them. Okay, let's go to stage 2, the finalization. And I want to show you how I colored the image for today's video that came out. You prefer Jägermeister? With T? Okay, that's interesting. So you... With T? Never heard that before. Isn't Jägermeister, doesn't it have like a certain taste? Isn't it already like seasoned, I guess you could say? Or doesn't it already have a specific taste? I wouldn't know, so you know, you have to answer that question for me. Okay. But you know, vodka's our national alcohol, I think. Yeah, I mean, you know, then of course it has to be, you have to at least drink one a day, I guess. You know, beer is our, I guess, national drink. And yeah, people like to drink a lot of beer here in Germany. So I guess, you know, at least we stick to our culture. Okay, so let me show you how I color these pieces, or how I colored the piece that you can see right here. This one, yeah, how I colored this. Yeah, so here's what it looked like before, and then here's what it looks like afterwards. So I start with a black and white image. Well, the eyes are yellow, I think, because there's something missing. But yeah, I start with this, and then I add colors to the image. How I do that is pretty simple. I go in here, and then I, for example, select an area that is supposed to be a certain color. So I say, well, this eye, or I want to, oh, let's make these flaps here at the top. Let's make them red. So I select what is supposed to be part of the flaps right here. Ooh, I'm gonna do it very loosely for this demonstration. I only know how you do it in Photoshop. It's probably, you know, it probably works in other software as well, but I only know how it works in Photoshop. So you have to figure it out yourself if you use other software. But there you go. So we select everything that is part of the flap right here. Woo. And then we use the gradient, whatever it's called. Hold on, I don't know. Well, let me see. Let me figure out what the actual name for it is. I'm gonna pull up the video where I actually grabbed it from, the technique. Cube brush gradient. There you go. So he does more. Oh, he does more like painting, digital painting tutorials and videos. But he showed how he, you know, uses, or how he colors his, you know, black and white sketches. He has these gradients here. Let me just quickly see what the name for them are. Gradient mapping. Oh yeah, gradient mapping, exactly. So yeah, gradient. Let me, you know what? I want to know the exact name, okay? Okay. Yep, it's gradient mapping, or gradient map. Okay, so the way gradient mapping works is, if we start with the basics, this one, nothing happens. Why? Because what gradient mapping does is basically, it does the same that, what is it called? Color ramp does in Blender. It determines a certain color for a certain brightness level. So you can see here, it goes from black to white. If we make this pure black, there you go. It goes from black to white, and it says, well, black is supposed to be black right now, and white is supposed to be white. Which means if we change this white to blue, then we can see it goes from black to blue. And this way we can very easily color the image. Of course, this is horrible. Let's make it a little bit, I guess, better. We can grab the reference image as reference for the colors. we just place it somewhere else, like over here. There you go. And then we just go into here, into the gradient map. We say, okay, let's determine the brightest color and the darkest color first. I like to stick with black and white for the like black and white image, like colors, like this. And then I like to go into the middle. Let's use a mid-level color. So the sort of color that is not affected by light or dark, or is right in the middle. Let's say, okay, we want to select a color. Let's use like this. I think that's a pretty good color. Pretty much in the middle, maybe a little bit lower. I think that's pretty good. Maybe this one here. That's basically the same. Let's use this one. So this is the middle color. And then let's go in here. Let's go to 75%. Let's use a slightly lighter color. There aren't really that many lighter colors here. Let's use this one maybe. If there aren't really, you know, brighter colors, we can also go down here, I guess. There you go. We can maybe even make it a little bit brighter. There you go. So now we have a slightly brighter color. Let's do one more for here. 25%, a slightly darker color, which we can use this one for. There you go. And then we started creating the color scheme for this flap. Now we can go into the gradients and we can push and pull and move these colors. So we can say, well, more colors, more of the gradient should be taken up by this color. So we pull it all the way over here, and this way more will be this color. We then can sort of, you know, create some more contrast by bringing these two together a little bit. You can see now it's very, very contrasty because the space between the next color and the previous color is very, very close. They're very close together, so we don't really have a big range where the colors could transition. We could maybe add one or two more, and this way we can very easily color this this flap in the colors that we have in the reference image. So what I like to do is I like to keep a very, very small amount white, a small amount black, and in between we have maybe 1 to 4 colors. No, 3 to 5 colors, I would say, that determine the mid colors. And then by just pushing and pulling them, we can create nice, you know, colors. There you go. And you can see, if we zoom out a little bit, I think it looks pretty good. And if we do that for everything, we could make a nicely colored dinosaur. And that's how I did it for this piece. You can see I started with the skin tone. You can see that's the skin tone thingy here. I've used 3 here with black and white and on the outside pieces. Yeah, you know. There you go. This is for the inside of the mouth. Pretty, you know, simple, not really big changes here, but, you know, a little bit more pinkish. Then I used a gradient map for the teeth. Same for the lips. The lips look pretty saturated. I would like to make them maybe a little bit less saturated, I guess, but, you know, that's the final result. And then the sort of outer teeth gum, the second layer, I guess, of teeth, the outer teeth. Then I did the eyeball as well as the iris, and then last but not least, the makeup. And I added some smaller like sprinkles here on her cheek or on her nose. And that's the final coloration. You can probably go into more detail if you wanted to, but, you know, not really necessary for the demonstration or for what I wanted this. What this was supposed to be. Okay. Oh, full pink dinosaur. I mean, we could do that, but we're gonna keep it here with black and white and small detail here in the back, the orange, with some herbal rum. Oh no, so many combinations. With tea and some lime juice and maple syrup, you can make drink known as the Jägermeister Hunter's Tea. Okay, it's an awesome drink. Sounds pretty interesting. Sounds pretty spicy. Okay, let's add a little bit more depth to the image. Maybe a little bit darker. There you go. Maybe a little bit brighter here. Not too bright, otherwise we lose some detail here at the top. And I think that's all that we need to do. Okay. Perfect. Welcome back. Credo Sine Potentia. I hope you have enjoyed your Monday evening so far. Maybe it's not your evening. Maybe you... No, hold on. If you... Well, you could be in Brazil, which means it's probably pretty early, you know, in the day. You could be from Spain. You could be from Italy. Then it would be, you know, the evening now. Hope you have enjoyed the time of day that you currently have so far. Okay, let's quickly look at the current state of what we're going to work with today. And then we're going to go to the 3-minute compilation. And then afterwards, we're going to start modeling, blocking out, and sculpting the Reaper. The companion... No, not the Reaper. The Wraith. The Wraith, the companion for the Reaper character. And then... Yeah, that's what we're going to do after the 3-minute compilation, where I upload the quick sketch. There it is. Is that the last stage? I think so. Have you have some tutorials for UV baking? Nope. I think I've tried it once, UV baking. I haven't done it too much. I don't really know too much about it. We might look into that at some point, but I haven't not made a video about it. There you go. Colombia. It's day time. Yeah, see? I don't wanna, you know, predict what time of day it is where you are, so I just, you know, I try to be very specific. Okay. There you go, just hiding all the block out pieces. So you can see he's done. The scythe is almost done. Once this is done, which will probably be at the end of this week, I'm gonna add it to his hand. And now what is missing is the Wraith sitting right there. So if you would use the good old pen tool right there, you can see he would sit... Hello? I don't know why, but I can never... Oh, okay. So he would sit somewhere over here, sitting over his shoulder like this, looking very... Like, there you go. Looking over his shoulder. There you go, and then with his arms. I think one arm I want to put... Wait, he has 2 arms, so we could maybe either put one arm over here, kind of going over his body, like this, and then the other one going over his shoulder like this. Well, this is kind of misplaced now, but you probably get the idea. His other hand could be somewhere over here. Not really like hugging him, but sort of like covering him. Or we just use one hand on one side and the other one, I don't know, is hidden or something, you know. That's sort of the idea. This space is quite, you know, quite empty right now. This space is quite, you know, there's quite a lot that we add there, but so we don't really need to add more on this side. But this, you know, space here at the bottom, top left, I think has enough room to place the Wraith right there. Which will be what we're going to block out and sculpt today. So we're going to do that in 3 minutes. Before we do that, I'm going to upload the quick sketch and you're going to see the compilation. Hope you enjoy the compilation. I don't think if I don't know if I'm going to do another compilation over over this like my vacation days. We'll see. I'm not quite sure yet. Okay. I'm going to see you in 3 minutes, and then we're going to begin creating the Reaper Wraith. Hope you enjoyed the compilation. I'll see you in 3 minutes. Well. Apparently, as Clutch already said, Instagram and Facebook are down, or at least it seems that way, which is quite annoying, but I'll just let it run, I guess. Maybe at some point it'll get updated, uploaded. We'll see. Okay. This will not stop us from continuing our onslaught on this character, okay? Let's go over how we're gonna do this. So, as we said before, we want to add the Wraith today. We have two, well, the way I like to create characters that are asymmetrical is in two ways. Either I would create them the way I did, or we did the character here, the person, by sculpting the body in a or T pose first, and then afterwards we add in armature to that character, and then we pose the character. Or the other way would be to block out the character already posed, and then we combine all the pieces and sculpt the final character. What I want to do for the Wraith, because it's faster, is we're going to do the second version. The problem with the first, I guess, technique is you not only have to create the character in an A pose, you also have to make sure that the topology is good and deforms well once you apply the armature. You also have to make sure that the armature deforms the character the right way. There are so many things that can go wrong. I think it's just way easier and quicker to do it the other way, blocking it out and then adding details in scope mode. So how we're going to do that is we're going to use very, very simple, I guess, objects to to add details. I mean, to block out the character, and then afterwards we will combine them all. We will use a retopologize modifier to combine them all in terms of topology, and then we will use scope mode to finish the character. So, apparently Facebook at least got done uploading. Instagram is still struggling. Okay, so the way we're going to do it is we're going to use very, very basic shapes to block out the character. The why I block out the character and not just start with a sphere and then sculpt the character is because I want to make sure that the anatomy is correct before I go into more detail. I could also do the same in scope mode. The problem is in scope mode it's kind of a little bit harder, a little bit, I guess, more difficult to adjust things when they are not proportional, or I want to change the proportions. So I like to do it I like to block it out first before I go into scope mode. Let me just quickly make a new collection where we're going to add the Wraith into. There you go. We will call it Wraith. Okay. So let's start blocking out the character. Pretty simple. We're going to start with, well, okay. So the way I like to do it is I like to begin in an A. Actually, so we could either start by creating a base mesh in a neutral pose, and then we can use these base mesh pieces and pose them, or we could immediately pose them. I think it's easier to first create a base mesh, or not a base mesh, a block out in a neutral pose, because then you can see the proportions better, and then afterwards pose them. So yeah, let's do that. So we will go ahead and start the head, because the head is the easiest way to begin. Head is pretty simple. At least from like the Wraith's head is pretty simple. A little bit longer, elongated sphere right here. There you go. Pull it down and scale it. There you go. So that's the head. Pretty basic. So that's exactly what we want. So now that we have the proportions for the head, we can, use that head to create the rest of the body. What I like to use to block out everything is I like to use cubes, because cubes are easier to change the shape for. Using, for example, this has a lot of geometry, and it is hard to really change the geometry in a, I guess, effective way. If we now use a cube, for example, you can see the cube only has 8 vertices, and using a subdivision modifier, you can just use one vertex and move it around, and you can see how easy you can change the shape of this sphere. Even if we add more resolution, you can still see the shape gets changed very easily. And I think that's why I like to use cubes to block out pieces, or to block out stuff. So we're gonna add neck. Hold on. You can see with this one, we always need to select so many vertices. We can reduce the amount of vertices, but it's still more annoying that we need to enable proportional editing and move it back. There you go. Okay. Hard surface robot, at least the bust head. I think if I would do a robot, I would probably do it a little bit differently than how we did it for the armor pieces. You can see the most complex pieces probably. No, this one was actually pretty simple. Which was the hardest? Maybe even the scythe. I think the way I would model this, I mean a robot's head, it differs a little bit from what we've done so far. The problem is I haven't really done that many hard surface pieces so far. This one is basically the first one really. So I can't really, you know, with a lot of confidence say that I or you know, explain it in a very good way, but we can at least, you know, put that as a I guess, you know, we can still make a project out of it. And if it turns out well, I can at least share how I did it, which doesn't really mean that I teach it, but I can at least say how I did it, which can, I think, still be valuable. So yeah, maybe at some point we'll create maybe a robot's head or a yeah, something like that. It's like a small video and explain how we did it. I think that could be pretty cool. Let me put that on my list, content list. Problem is the list gets longer, and I can't really, you know, there are more ideas that pop up than I can finish them. Hard surface robot project. Okay. Plus documentation. There you go. Okay. Okay, so you can see how very easily you can just create these blockouts with a cube, because we only need to change these few vertices to really, you know, create a nice blockout. So this will be the neck. Pretty simple neck. Let me just do something real quick. I'm gonna make this smaller here. Okay. There you go. Then I like to add another one for the chest, I guess, the upper body. Good thing is we only need to model the upper body for the Wraith and the arms and hands. Not really the, you know, anything below that, which will make it a little bit easier and faster to do it. There you go. Okay, let's make it bigger. Okay. Just by moving these small edges, we can very easily change the shape. I also like to add a, you know, cut in the middle, so we have some more control there in terms of its volume. There we go. Okay. The shoulders might be a little bit wider than I want them to be, but I'm going to leave them there for now. It's quite a, you know, skinny character, so we don't need to be too thick here. We also need to change this. This, there you go. So we have the chest part. Let's go to the arms. We're going to start with the shoulders. We can use a mirror modifier, so we don't only have to work on one side, and it's perfectly mirrored. Oh, we also need a subdivision modifier. There you go. Yeah, this way we can very easily block out the character. It doesn't really take that long, and it's very effective in just blocking out the general proportions. Oh, hello. There you go. Okay. Shoulders, you know, the rounder they are, the more, you know, I guess, jacked a character looks. So if you want to make a character that looks very, very skinny, the shoulders usually are very pointy, very sharp, like a 90-degree angle almost, because the muscle wraps around the shoulder joint right here. And of course, the more muscular somebody is, the more volume the muscles have. So if it wraps around piece, you know, the shoulder right there, the rounder it is, the more voluminous, I guess, the muscle is. Okay, those are the shoulders. We can maybe change the shape right here. Oh. There you go. What is that? Oh. it gets posted when possible, I guess it said. Now, interesting, never seen that before. Okay. Let's add the arms. First the upper arm and then the lower arm. We just use the good old cube again. And how do we make arms out of them? Pretty simple. We just scale them up. Then we add 2 cuts here in the middle, and this way we can preserve the volume pretty easily. There you go. Okay, I think they are quite thick right now. Let's make them a little bit smaller. Problem is we can't really... Can we target the local axis? We can't, which is kind of annoying. Why can't we do that? So I guess we have to determine the thickness first. That's probably pretty good. Kind of looking at the length. I want to keep sort of human proportions, at least all the way to the hands. You can see the hands are very, very long. But everything else looks pretty normal in terms of proportions. So I want to kind of keep that sort of, anatomy in mind. We can also look at different references here. Nope, this one is not the reference that I mean. Let me just quickly pull up what I mean. So I can't remember if the forearms are also long or only the last, like the fingers. That is very important, okay? Let's see. There it is. This one I mean. You can see, yeah, I think only the hands are really big. Everything else looks quite normal. Maybe the forearms are quite jacked, but that's about it. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Proportion wise looks pretty good too. Okay. Good thing is, even if we don't nail the proportions right away, we can still change it, because this will not be the final version. We will still use it and sculpt on top of it. We can also, if you want to, now just add a small detail here in the back for like an elbow, I guess. Looks kind of goofy, so I'm gonna not do that. There you go. Okay. Good thing is, so we talked about finishing all the work that I had before I started my vacation. Of course, you can't really, in an agency, usually you don't really, like, you always have like overlapping projects, so you can't really finish all the projects before you go into, before you start your vacation, which means you always have to, brief somebody else and give them the project so they can finish, or they can work on them as long as you're not there. The most, of course, which means you kind of have to always convey them, not only what you know about the project, but also how or what the current state is, what the goal is, and basically, brief them about the entire thing. And you can probably imagine that can get quite quite elaborate. Good thing is, I started using a new program or website that lets me not only, I guess, plan my file, my projects a little bit easier, it also lets me create sort of self-briefings, which I then can just copy or screenshot and send to others. I can't really just use a link to... I can't just like create a link and give it to them so they can look at the entire project notes, because they have to use it like their own account for it. But at least, you know, I can make a I can very easily create briefings without having to write them from scratch, which is very, very useful, because that's what I did before. And of course, if you write them from scratch, it oftentimes can just happen that you forget something, or, you know, yeah, you forget something, which then leads to some understanding issues, or, you know, issues which you can't really solve anymore because you're already in your vacation. Yeah, so I'm very glad that I started looking for a website, or any like a tool that can give me that sort of, you know, that can give me that function. And yeah, I am very, very easy now to just, you know, give it to somebody else. It's always annoying having to do that, because you know, I would rather just finish it myself, but of course you always have overlap projects, so you always have to give it to somebody else. But maybe there isn't really anything the other colleagues need to do. I think there at least is one project, but there's another colleague that worked with me on that, so at least they know what's, you know, happening there. But I have like 2 or 3 that only I know about, or like the current state, or at least, you know, we still have project managers, but still. Good thing is now with these cubes we can also apply or add some you know, some slight proportion or shape changes. Welcome. Wait. Bad influence. Is that the mentor for Batman? Trying to hide all, or the bad version from Batman. The alternative version, the villain edition. Welcome. Hope you enjoyed your Monday, maybe even your weekend. You know, weekends probably more enjoyable than Mondays, but you know, you never know. Maybe you're somebody that likes Mondays. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard somebody say, "Hey, finally it's Monday," but you know, maybe there's somebody out there. Maybe. I always like reading, you know, clever names from people, whether it is when I play games, or when I, you know, see them in chat, like, you know, wordplay, or, you know, just weird pronunciations, or in general just weird names. Hope you enjoyed your weekend too. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you know, now that I have 2 weeks of vacation, I guess you could say I will enjoy my extended weekend. I usually only take 1 week off, but today, or this, I guess this time, I decided to do 2 weeks, because I still need to, I guess, take days from last year, which I haven't done. So here I am, 2 weeks rather than 1 week. Okay, there you go. Wait, oh, there you go. Okay, really love your streams. They help a lot. Just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Where do you get all these emotes from? I see them all the time. I guess they're animated, but I can't see them animated because for some reason they're not going to be displayed animated. But thank you. I appreciate your words or the gesture. Do you which ones do you like more? Or I mean, hold on. No, what I wanted to know is what do you like to do? Do you like to, you know, do 3D or just like why do you watch the stream? Is it a certain topic or in general Blender? Same here with my vacation, but I can't take it now. Oh no. Yeah, for me, it's always like I'm very, very routine oriented, which means once I'm kind of in a routine, I don't really think about alternatives, which means if I work, I, you know, I don't really think about necessarily, you know, taking vacations or taking time off, you know, which means I don't really take my days off sometimes, which often leaves me with keeping a few days for next year. 3D modeling. Oh, hello everyone, that will be interesting. Welcome back, Crow ST. Hope you enjoyed not only your weekend but also your let's see, what do we not have so far? Hope you enjoyed your hope you had a great, hope you woke up regenerated. I sometimes have problem with that. 3D modeling, nice, that's nice. Do you like characters more or hard surface modeling? There's only one right answer here. Okay, so choose wisely. Okay, look at his hands. Look at these hands. So the weird thing will be to... So it looks like, of course, because the hands are very big, we need to make the wrists also very big, which means usually what happens is if you look at the arm goes from wide right here, or, you know, from wider to smaller or to thinner, and then it goes to very thin and then goes back to the hand. Problem is if we make the hands big, as we said, the wrist needs to be big, which means we can't really go from thick to thin. We go from thick to, I guess, thick as well. Which means we either need to make the, we need to make everything proportionally bigger. We need to make this, you know, bigger so that we can still go from thick to thin. Or we just keep a straight sort of gradient, I guess. So which isn't really a gradient anymore. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to make the forearms bigger overall. Change the circumference. There you go. Really like what you do. You have a lot of things you will learn. There's so much more I want to learn. We're going to do that with every project. Okay, so we need to make these arms very, very chunky. Maybe not the oh, so we could make a small we could add a small, I guess, small Easter egg. So what we could do, I thought about making the character or the Wraith very skinny, and then of course we run into the problem of the hands need to be big, so the forearms need to be big. We could also just make a very jacked a very jacked Wraith, which you can't really see though because it's underneath these robes. So we could hide, you know, the super ripped body underneath these tattered clothes. Just as like a small, I guess, inside joke, if we wanted to. We could think about that. Let's create the hands first. I mean, the block out. You know, that would be the step 2, where we add more detail to the character. There you go. Okay. I think we need to increase the size for these hands even more. There you go. Nice flipper hands. That should be enough. Oh, hold on. That's maybe a little bit too much. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna make him very ripped. Okay, you can see... Well, actually, usually if you look at your hand, using your hand, create this shape with your hand, then putting it on your face, you generally start from your chin down here, then you reach the hairline. Of course, if you're older, you might have a receding hairline, so that might not work anymore, but you know, at least for me, I can place my hand on my chin, and then I can reach all the way up to the start of my hairline. For him, I mean, you know, if you look at it, it could still work, you know, his hairline might be all the way back there, so I mean, you know, the proportions could still fit, but you know, I think the hands are a little bit bigger than normal. So yeah, I think we're ready for the thumb. I mean the fingers, and then we can pose the character around him. Okay, let's do that. We use a cube again. So fingers, blocking out fingers is always annoying, but of course necessary. So let's make it quick. Well, that's the problem. We can make it quick. So we need to, yeah, just get through this one by one. Wait, did I actually finish the... Oh, I need to still finish the head. Well, that shouldn't take too long. Okay. Okay. So what I like to do for the fingers is I either like to split them up into 3 pieces, because you have the base of the finger right here. You have the base. Then we have the second bone, the middle bone, and then we have the tip. But I think about just making one piece and then blocking out the fingers that way. But I think we can speed up the process if we just duplicate the fingers. So we can probably just... Oh, hold on. Does he have 4 fingers? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he has 3. I mean 4. I've never sculpted 4 fingers, but that shouldn't be too hard, I guess. We just remove one. Okay. Let's begin. I think we're gonna just create 3 pieces. I think that's easier. Also easier to pose. Okay. Oh. Okay. There you go. The first sausage. I'm gonna fan them out a little bit so they have some more room. Okay, that's the first one. Then let's just duplicate it. We could do it in the same model, or we can just, I guess, duplicate it out here in object mode. This way we can have 2 objects. This way we can select between the 2. If we do it the other way, where we duplicate it in edit mode, they're both in the same sort of object, which means we can only select both or none. We cannot select one or the other like we can do with this. Doesn't really make a big difference, but it's, I think, just a little bit easier to work with. There you go. Yeah, you know? Look, see? Right now he's just a big sausage man. Or sausage ghost. He's not really a scary ghost right now. He's just made out of round pieces. So, you know? I'm gonna call him sausage. No, I'm gonna call him sausage. Okay. Last piece. Duplicate. Pull it over here. And then I'm gonna make it longer. And also more pointy. Can we now use local? We can't. I wonder why. Is it because of the mirror? No. That's weird. Okay. There you go. Look at those fingers. They seem quite long, but I think that's really appropriate. Maybe not that long. That's probably better. We don't really have good proportion, or we don't really have a good reference for the proportions. But I think that's Quite fitting. Maybe a little bit longer. There you go. Okay. Perfect. There you go. So that's the first finger. We can now just duplicate it. And then select them all and move them down here. Number 2. This one will probably be longer than this one. So how do we do this? I guess we can just go into the individual pieces. We can also just scale them up, I guess. There you go, that should work. Okay, that's the middle finger. Then we do the same again for the last one. There you go. So I was thinking that I want to finish this before, or at least so that we can finish it close to release of the expansion. Of course, this character is from Final Fantasy XIV. So it is a character or a class that gets released in the new expansion, which is why I wanted to sculpt it, because it looks cool. He looks cool, you know. And yeah, I wanted to look at when it comes out, when it releases, and it's actually in November, so we're probably gonna finish it before that. You know, but at least we have enough time to finish it. It's not like we're running out of time. That's probably worse than having too much time. So we could still work on it all the way to November, but I think I would rather do other stuff. Okay. So the thumb is a little bit different. The thumb is not a finger. And maybe you know why, maybe you don't. Well, I think in the blockout we can use 3 finger bones, but in real life the thumb does not have 3 bones. That is why that's why it's not considered a finger. Finger has 3 limbs or 3 bones, but the thumb actually has only 2. You can see right here. You can see it has number 1 and number 2. The third one is non-existent. You might say, well, this one is, you know, there's still a bone right here, but that bone is part of the bones that are right here. So you have these 4 bones that go all the way up and build the sort of main part, like the palm. There are just 4 bones going out and fanning out to the individual fingers. We have the same for the thumb. So no matter how you twist and turn it, we will always have less bones in the thumb than we have in all the other fingers, which means the thumb is not considered a finger. Quick little fun fact right there. And also another tip, especially for character sculpting, or hand sculpting, I guess. The thumb, if you just relax your hand, looking from the side, has a 90-degree rotation compared to the other fingers. If you look at my my thumbnail or my fingernail, you can see it is facing this direction. But then if you look at the thumb, you can see that the thumbnail is pointing upwards. There you go. See? Well, there's my thumbnail, and here are my fingers. If you didn't know, yeah, they have the thumb has a 90-degree rotation, which is actually something I learned this year. So you know, I've been sculpting characters for almost 2 years now, and I never realized that. You never learn. You're never done learning, as they say. There you go. So that's the base mesh. Let's see if the proportions are, you know, fitting. I think the head is a little bit bigger compared to the hands. Where's my reference? There it is. Yeah, I think the head can be a little bit bigger. I think this is a case of game design proportions. Oftentimes when you create games or when you create characters for games, you have to not only make sure that they have good proportions overall, like natural proportions, so they look natural, but you all sometimes have to tweak these proportions so that the character actually reads well in the perspective that you, I guess, play the game. So what I mean is, for example, for MOBAs, if you look at the League of Legends in-game, there you go. You can see how you will always see the arena, let's say, from this top-down, bottom-right position of the camera, which means, for example, for these 3D models of the environment, or here, the stone right there. Can you even see the stone? Hold on. There you go. This stone right there. If you wanted, you wouldn't even have to create geometry behind the stone because you wouldn't see it. I think if you run all the way over here around behind the stone, you would still see it. But if you wanted to, you can optimize it and remove some geometry right there because you wouldn't see it anyway. So that also means, for example, for games where the characters are very small or where certain parts of the piece or of the characters are very important to read well. For example, for Street Fighter, they sometimes, what developers like to do is they like to increase they like to increase the size of these features. So for example, for Street Fighter, what they like to do is they like to increase the hand and feet size. Let's see. Look at this. See how they... First of all, of course, it is stylized in general, so they have, sometimes weird stylized features. But you can see how big these hands are compared to the head, for example. Or the legs, very big. The feet, look how huge these feet are. So, yeah, oftentimes if you, for example, create characters for games, to make them read well and, make them read well in the video game, you sometimes, want to draw more attention or you want to increase the size of features so they are more readable in your game. This being a fighting game, it is probably pretty important that you can see the hands very well. You don't really need to see the face necessarily, so what they do is they increase the hand size and they increase the feet size and maybe a leg size as well to make it more readable. And that is not only for female characters, it is also for male characters. Let's see. Come on. Hold on, what's the new one? Looks like Edward Scissorhands. Yeah. With only 4 fingers, he cut off one of them. Street Fighter, I guess 5. There you go. Let's see. Oh, let's use this one. You can see how huge these hands are. He can definitely wrap his hands or his fingers around his face. So yeah, you can see how they change the proportion of the feet. Look at the feet, dude. They're actually, they would be so fast in the water because of how big these feet are. They don't even need fins. They can just use their feet. Yeah, so, sometimes distortions in the body proportions could be because the game is sort of requires it to read well, which can also be the case for our reference right there, our the Wraith. To make the Wraith, let's look at some gameplay real quick so I can show you what I mean. What is it called again? Final, there it is. You can see when the character is fighting, especially once the Wraith comes out. There's the Wraith. Sometimes the Wraith sort of fights with her. Not really there. Hold on. Hopefully we can see some moves. Okay, bro. Apparently not. Oh, there it is. Hold on. There it is. So to make the character, so you can see that the character is slashing with his hands. Of course, it is way easier to just make the hands very big, so you can see the huge hand like swinging across, across the enemy and damaging them, rather than making them very, very small and hard to see. Otherwise, you would just see like the swipe. You don't really see where it's coming from. Making the hands bigger makes it, easier to see. Ooh, he's slashing with his hands. Of course, these special effects always also help, but that's one way how you can sometimes see, or why you can sometimes see different weird proportional changes or weird proportions in characters. Even though that looks kind of weird sometimes. Okay. Which means it might look weird, but we're going to keep it because we don't really have any references or any other references. We don't really have any other figurines that we can compare it to. So we're just going to keep these hands pretty big because I think that's going to represent the character a little bit better. Okay, let's make the head a little bit bigger here as well. There you go. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Perfect. Let's pose the character. Bigfoot energy, exactly. Very, very Bigfooty. And especially yeah, basically Street Fighter is just made out of Bigfoots. Even though Bigfoot doesn't really have big feet, at least in the images that you could see. Well, I only know of one prevalent image where he's just like doing this to the camera. Okay. Let's pose the character. So we could now apply a what do you call it? A rig to the character. It would be pretty simple, but I think I want to do it, without a rig. So what I'll do is I will create a parent structure that could represent a rig, which means I could, oh, actually that doesn't really work that well. Okay, what we'll do is we will separate the two sides. Now that we have mirrored sides, what we'll do is we will separate the two. This way we can create the parent structure that I mean. So we're going to apply the mirror modifier. Then we will just select one side. We will press P, separate by selection, and now we have two sides, which are perfectly separated and have the subdivision modifier applied and, are still mirrored. We're going to do the same with all the mirrored pieces. And then once that's done, we can go into the next step. Okay, there you go. Didn't take too long. I'm actually very excited to get back into sculpting. Even though I do it for all the quick sketches, it is always a little bit, it's refreshing having more time than just 30 minutes to create a sculpt. Because I actually, quite like the sort of mid-level details a lot. Or the mid-level, the mid-phase, where we sort of, refine the character but don't really add details necessarily. I really like that stage because you can really give the character a lot of unique features. You can't really do that too much with with the first stage. Okay. Oh, we need to do one more thing before we can create the parent structure. Wait. Oh. Didn't really work because I didn't apply the mirror modifier. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about how we could, I guess, render out the model. We could either make it so that it looks like a real figurine, by basically trying to by hold on. By, setting up the materials that way, creating maybe, adding a little bit of, small smudge, or, a little bit, creating the materials in a way where it looks like it's like a miniature figure, or we make it look like the in-game model, or a realistic model, how the character would look like realistically. I'm kind of torn between the two because I think both could look pretty cool. I think I'm more on the side of making it look like a realistic character instead of a figurine-like character, just because then we can work with some effects around the character. For example, the character right now has his hands sort of, one hand sort of in this holding position. He's holding something in his hand, and I think what I want to do is I want to add like a magic spell or something to it, so that it looks like he's, channeling some magic or something. I think that would be pretty cool, and I think that would be quite hard to do for figurines. It's still possible, but of course way easier to do that. To do that in when you want to make it realistic. So now that we have separated all the pieces, we need to set the pivot points for them. What I'll do is I'll just set the pivot point at the base, at the beginning of the finger, basically, at least for the fingers. This way I can rotate them from there. I'm going to show you what I mean with that in just a second. So now we've done it for one finger. We can now parent this finger to the second, or the tip to the middle part of the finger, and then we can parent the middle part of the finger to the base finger, and then if we rotate it, we can see they all follow. But then if we rotate this one, only the tip follows, and then if we rotate this one, only the tip changes its shape, which is perfect. So this way we can create a very simple, I guess, bootleg rig without having to rig anything. Let's do that for all the pieces, and then we can rig the character. Oh, hold on. There you go. Now you can see what I'm pressing. And then, of course, we parent it all the way to the hand. Okay, and then we do that for all the fingers. Problem is, of course, now that we've removed or that we've applied the mirror modifier, we have to do it for both sides, but that shouldn't take too long. Oh, okay. Okay. Wait, are those... Oh, yeah. Nope, I don't want to select them. Oh, we didn't do it for this finger. Okay. Perfect. I don't know, you know, we've done probably two... No, this one is the second long-term project, I like to call it, that we've done on stream. The first one was for a competition. Wait. Oh. The first one was for a competition. I think 2 to 3 months ago. I like to keep them quite infrequent because you know, because just how long they take. I think it's, you know, that's why I like to keep them quite rare. But, you know, from time to time I like to do them because then you can kind of involve more of the entire process into, I guess, the workflow. You can include more into the sort of, I guess, streams than what you would do for, I guess, for example, like the orc sculpt. The orc sculpt we worked on, I think, for 2 weeks, maybe even just 1.5. And it looked pretty good in the end, but there are some things that I would like to elaborate more on in that sculpt, which we haven't, which we can do more of here, which is nice. But, you know, they're so elaborate sometimes that I like to keep them quite infrequent. Because basically, you know, I like to turn these streams into videos at the end of the day, but you can't really turn like a stream into a or like a single, like this stream for example, into a video, because then you would just, you know, make like millions of parts or a lot of parts, if you know. And you could also just turn all the streams, combine them all together into a 10-minute video explaining what you've done, because I think that would be more valuable than making like a, I guess, like a workflow vlog basically. So, you know, it takes longer to create sort of, I don't want to say usable content, but like, you know, oh, dude, I always press the wrong button. You know, it takes just longer to create something that you can turn into a video. Which doesn't mean that I don't like to do it, but it, so actually, I don't really, oh, hold on, what happened there? Wait, why are they still together? Did I not separate them? Oh, okay. I actually don't like these very long projects that much. So every time, even if when I did it off stream or when I did it like for myself, like, you know, when I didn't have the channel, I did it not really that frequently. I did, you know, some more medium term, I guess, projects rather than these very long drawn out projects. Because I think I like to, yeah, I think that's just more of my, like, more what I like to do. I don't know if there's a good explanation for it, but, you know, it's just more fun to me to create a project pretty quickly, like 1 or 2 weeks, and then jump to the other one, to the next one. Which means that I can't really necessarily do very, very, like, elaborate projects, which I like to do. But at least I can make more in a short amount of time, or in a shorter amount of time. I don't know, that's just more appealing to me. Totally that I, you know, totally that I, yeah, that's basically the reason for it. Just gonna check if all the pieces are separated now, so we don't run into any more problems. Seems to be the case. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So which means, you know, after we are done with this, we're gonna do some more. You know, we're gonna do some shorter projects. You know, one to 2 days. So we've done that basically after I finished the first long-term project. We've done some more, you know, shorter projects like, hey, we're gonna create this this female orc character, which took 1 to 2 weeks. We also did a we created a speculation as to what Dream might look like in real life. Which took one week, and I think it turned out pretty great. And I want to do more projects like these. It can oftentimes feel kind of you know, it just feels like it kind of drags on sometimes. You don't really feel like you're getting somewhere when you for example create like a, you know, you're creating a like one armor piece of an entire character. You know, it doesn't really change a lot of the look in the character, but it's still important to add that piece to the character so we can, you know, because it's still an important part in the entire look of the character. But, you know, one in itself doesn't really do much more than just, you know, fill the space, I guess. Yeah, that's why I try to keep these sort of projects a little bit more infrequent. And I think they also, oftentimes, for example, for these, you know, how to create a scythe, for example, we oftentimes cover the same, like the same topic, which means we can be a little bit, we can go a little bit more in depth, but we can't really cover more more topics, which is what I like to do. Yeah, what I like to do. You know, covering, you know, like if you've watched the first part of creating a scythe, you probably know what you need to know to create the scythe yourself. Of course, if you want to, you can watch the other ones too, but it's not really necessarily. Okay, there you go. Did I parent them all? Nope. And there you go. We've parented everything as far as I can see it. There you go. Woo. Okay. Let's do the same for the core. Okay. Do the same here. Oh, this, yeah, see, now if we would have cubes, this would be way, way easier. But no, we have these weird vertices. I mean, so many faces that we need to combine together. There you go. Okay. There you go. Now we've parented everything. Woo! We finished the base mesh and also created a parent rig, I guess you could say. So now we can pose the character. Perfect. Okay, good thing is now, if we want to make it smaller, we can also just do that. Because everything is parented to the core. So if you want to make big changes like this, we can make him wider. we can make him longer. We can do all that because we only need to scale one piece. Please go back. There you go. Okay. So now that we have done that, let's pose the character. I think... is the character too big? I don't think so, actually. You can see how big it is here. You can see his face is way bigger than the character's face. If we put it... I'm going to duplicate him just because I want to have a duplicate of him. Of it, whatever. There you go. I'm going to select all that. Wait, hold on. Okay. I'm gonna move him all the way over here because he's kind of in the way of the main piece. And then I'm gonna duplicate him. Wait, what are these pieces? Oh, they're non-existent because I removed the geometry from them? Okay. True empties, basically? Okay. I'm gonna create a base mesh collection and then I'm gonna create a, I guess, final collection. Block out. Block out. There you go. Let's call it Wraith blockout so we don't have this blockout 0.001 here. Okay. And then we need a collection for Wraith Final. Look at it. Okay, duplicate, move it over here, move it to Wraith Final. Okay, perfect. Wait, why did it separate itself? Okay, I mean, it still works, so I'm not complaining. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna add the hood later. I think maybe we will actually... We'll see how we're gonna create that because it's so ripped. We might need to create custom geometry for it. We'll see. Okay, let's go in here and create the Wraith. So let me save this real quick as a new file, and then we can begin. I want to save it right now because if we mess up and we need to go back, we could just, you know, load up the file again. We could also just delete the entire character and then add the base mesh again, but I think it's easier to just load up the file again. Okay. So let's begin. I want to sit down, so give me a sec. Okay. So, let's pose the character. Okay. So he would, first of all, he needs to be behind the character. He also needs probably some space behind him because he needs to wrap his arms around, because his arms are so big, you know, he needs some more space. So we can probably place him, first of all, somewhere over here. I also want to hunch him, make him like hunched over a little bit, like this. So he's kind of like, you know, over his shoulder. We need to also put him, rotate him like this slightly, so he can kind of, you know, lean over one side rather than the other. There you go. Let's go to the neck. Good thing is this is a fantasy character, so we don't necessarily need to stick to natural movements, which we could even support the sort of look that the character has. Like a weird movement. Okay. There you go. Okay, so I think what we could do is we could create this hand. What he does with his hand right here, we could create the same for the Wraith on the other side. That could be cool. So they kind of work together. You know, he's holding his weapon right there, but he still supports him on the other side with the same sort of power, I guess. Let's see what that looks like. So if we move his hands upwards, I mean, like this. There you go. Now I'm trying to pose it like the Reaper has. His hands. There you go. And then we need to... I don't know if the fingers are too long for that sort of pose. Maybe it's better to not do that. It also seems like the Reaper or the Wraith has only one hand. You can see there isn't really a second hand, so we might even just hide this one. Even in the videos, because he's just only swiping once, then that's it. We might not need a second hand, actually. Let's see. Yeah, we're probably gonna hide one arm because it's not gonna be visible. So which one should we hide? Let me just go back here. Oh, hello. Okay. Pressing Ctrl Z too often is not a good idea. Oh, it froze. Perfect. Yeah. So we're probably gonna just hide one arm and then we're gonna pose the other one. Let me just open it up again. Nope, I'm gonna go back. You know what? It might be better to put him on the other side, because if he's hunched over the other side, we can place his hand on the left side, which will fill this room probably a little bit better. Although, maybe not. We'll see. I want to put it on the right side first, and then we can do the other side. We can try the other one. Come on. I mean, that probably already is enough. So let's hide the hand. Please. Okay. There you go. So we only need one hand. Let's place him on his shoulder like this. Just like the reference. Okay. Then let's pose the arm, which should probably be somewhere underneath his hand. Okay. Why does it take so long to just reset the entire thing? Why? Okay, it works. Oh, that's a little bit too close to the cloak. There you go. And then we can post the fingers. You can see he kind of does this with its fingers. It does it. So we can probably rotate them out a little bit as well. There you go, and then we can turn them in again, like this. Let's see what that looks like. We do that with all of them. One thing to keep in mind with fingers, it is oftentimes looks better, they will look more dynamic if you give them different, I guess, rotations. So not make them all sort of synchronized in their movement or in their position. Like this, for example, this finger isn't fully rotated like the first one, which will make them look more dynamic and more natural, because usually if you move your fingers, if you look at images, your fingers don't just look like this all the time, or, you know, they're all do this. Like, you don't say like, hi, like this. You probably do something like this rather, you know, maybe this, hey, what's up? You do this maybe. Usually your fingers aren't really fully in the same position, in the same angle as, you know, each individual finger isn't in the same position as the next one. So doing that for your characters can also help in making your characters look more realistic. One thing I think that can be overlooked quite easily. There you go. Does that look good? Maybe we can place them a little bit closer. I don't know. Now we come back to the previous problem that we had. Trying to find a good pose for him. Wait, can we actually reset values? Hold on. Reset. Revert? What? No. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to change the rotation back. This way we can basically just, you know, bring the character back to its original pose. Because we only changed the rotation values. But that doesn't work. Okay. Well, it works, but we have to do it manually. Let me drink something real quick. Always keep in mind to stay hydrated. Coincidentally, my parents also have a week off with me. Like the first week that I have off, they also do. Which they will use to go on a vacation, I guess you could say. They, you know, they like to, you know, make trips and, you know, visit new places. And, overall, just, you know, I guess, see more of the world. I'm more the opposite. I don't really, you know, I like to, stay home when I am on vacation, just because, or when I have my free time, I guess. Just because I don't like the stress of, first of all, figuring it out and then getting there. Why would I not just spend the entire time somewhere where I'm very comfortable, where I can still do most of what I would do anyway when I would be there, except for maybe seeing new places. I'm not really interested in that too much. So, you know, I just like to stay at home and do stuff there. My parents don't really understand that, but, you know, they don't need to. You know, I can't really explain why I think that's better, but it just is for me. So, you know, there's nothing to argue. Arguing over subjective stuff is always useless. Why would you do that? Okay. I don't know if I like this. I think I like it more when the arm that is actually showing is on the same side as the Wraith. Maybe not. I think I want to start over. I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this and just, you know, bring it back if we want to look at it again. Let's call it pose 1. We're going to create like 1 or 2 poses just so we can have so we can, you know, have some options. Yeah, so probably today what we're going to do is we're going to create we've created the block out and we will then create the pose. Maybe go into sculpting the beginning parts. Tomorrow we will fully focus on sculpting. Okay. So this is pose 1. Let's hide it. Let's create another one. And then we can compare the 2. Maybe even 3. We'll see. Okay. So what I want to try here is... how can we pose the character the best way that he sort of shows up on this side? Let's see. We could also hide this side. I want to see some more references here. So of course we have this one. Hold on. This one. But this one they don't really play together. I don't really like this one that much. This one shows off the characters individually some more. I want to sort of intertwine them. And make them work together. Teamwork makes the dream work. Let's see. There aren't really that many references, which is the problem. Oh, hold on. We have one more. This one. Oh. Here, he's sort of flying over him. With his hand sort of right there. See, there you can see the difference. In this image, you can see his hands are quite normal. You can see they're quite small compared to the in-game model. So I'm kind of Should we rather follow this or the in-game model? I don't really know, because we use, for example, this scythe here for the reference. Like, this is the main reference for the scythe. We have some aspects. We took some aspects from the in-game model. We took some aspects from this quick sketch or from this reference. So I don't really know what I want to do, what I want to use as the main reference for this. We could make this just smaller, you know. There you go. That could work too. Oh, hold on. Like this, you know, that could work. I'm not quite sure though. You know what? Why don't we do that for the second Wraith? Even this one doesn't have 2 arms, so I guess we just use 1 arm. It seems like always the left arm is the one that is showing. So we're probably gonna go with that. What we could do is, first we'll hide these pieces. Okay, and then we can maybe even lean him over here even more, like this. Even maybe placing him more like this, so he's kind of looking at him. Or he's kind of leaning into him, like this. He's doing the hover hand, or when you take pictures with people, you're not putting your hand on their shoulder. You actually just hover. You just hover over them, like this. I can't really. Hold on. Nope, I'm not coming around my. I can't really reach over to the other side, but you know, you don't really do this. You don't rest your arm on somebody's shoulder. You just do the hover hand. There you go, like woo. we could sort of do that here. Like this. That could be pretty cool. Let's see. And then we could maybe place his hand over here. I would like to show his entire arm. I mean, his entire hand, which could be a problem. Well, yeah, we're gonna try 3 poses here. At least I have 3 in my mind right now. So he's kind of over his shoulder right there. Maybe we can bring him closer, so we have some more room. Like this, that's probably better. Okay. You know, good thing is if you didn't take that many days off so far, you have a lot in the end. I can take a lot at the end of the year. Usually I take probably like 1 or 2 weeks for, you know, New Year's as well as Christmas. But maybe I'll probably take more this year. We'll see. Okay. I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. That could look pretty cool. Good thing about bones is that they sort of follow the they have axes, local axes that you can rotate around, which you can't really do with this rig, I guess, rig, if you want to call it a rig, because you don't, I don't know why, but it just didn't copy them. Could be because of how we set it up. Maybe because they're not on the pivot point anymore. Maybe because of the rotation that we've done and then separated the pieces. It didn't copy the local position. Maybe, I don't know. You know, but it didn't copy it, so we can't really rotate around the local axis anymore. Which makes it a little bit harder to pose the character, but it still works. So no, we don't need to complain too much. So you can kind of wrap around him. I think that'll look cool, similar to what he does in the. Why is this one so far in the hand? Similar to how he does it in the other reference that we have here. Hold on, this one. There you go. He's kind of wrapping around her. We can do the same for this one. There you go. I think that looks cool. Maybe I want to... Maybe we can change a few of these fingers. I don't think they all need to rotate in like that. We can also maybe do one or two like this. I think, oh, that looks pretty cool. See how we just by changing one finger in the entire, like from the hand, just changing one finger to a different pose can change the entire look so quickly. And then maybe we can do the same here. Hold on. Like this. Kind of looks like he's trying to kill him. Maybe not the best pose. But I think that looks pretty cool, actually. Because, so, one thing we have to keep in mind is that he will have his robe above him. Or he will have his robe. Which means there will be more on this side. So this is not all that we will see on this side. We have to kind of keep that in mind for this sort of posing. I saved because I think we're going to go with this pose. I like this pose. I don't really know if we can place his hand on the other side. I don't think that's going to be possible. I think this is pretty cool. You can still see basically everything you need to see. And yeah, that's what I wanted. Let me quickly do something. I'm gonna hide all this. And then I want to bring back the scythe. There you go. So everything that is block out is gone except for the scythe. We also have the base that is gone. I don't know where it is. Is it this one? Nope. Well, we're probably not going to find it. Nope, there it is. Haha, perfect, okay. There you go. I think that's pretty cool. See, you can still see everything, really. It's not really intersecting with anything. We probably need to put his hand somewhere over here. There you go. I think that's cool. Wait, where are the cloak pieces? Oh no. They must be somewhere in here. Oh no. Cloak? Is that the one? No. Cloak raw? Nope. What is cloak raw? Oh, okay. Why is it in here? Who cares? Where's the I'm looking for the cloth pieces around his shoulders. I mean, above his shoulders. Shoulder cloth. There it is. Final. There it is. Okay. See, naming everything the right way is very, very helpful. Can save a lot of time. Even, especially if you have so many pieces here. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to go with that. I think that's cool. The hand still might be pretty big, but it's kind of a mix between the two. It's not as big as it is in this reference, but it's also not as small, I guess, as it is in this one. This one is quite normal, I guess you could say. Even smaller than this hand, if you know, arguably. Okay, perfect. Let's save it right there. And now we can go into sculpting. So let's join all the pieces together to create one single object. And then we can use a retopologize modifier to combine all the pieces, make one geometry out of all of them. And then we can create the actual sculpt. I might want to duplicate this one so we don't lose it. Let's call it pose 2. I think I'm just going to make it Wraith poses. And then we can duplicate this one once more, pose 2, and create the final collection. So many collections. Wraith final. Okay. My hair is getting too long. I need to cut it. Probably gonna do that next week. So I'm gonna be 12 years younger afterwards. No, older afterwards. Okay. Let's duplicate everything. Okay. Wraith final. Perfect. So now what we'll do is we will select everything again. We will highlight the chest, so the chest is the object we want to join everything into. We press Ctrl J. Oh, hold on. I think we need to apply the modifiers first and also remove the parenting. So let's do that. So we're gonna apply all this. Oh, we need to do some pose changes here. Let me hide this real quick. Okay. Wait. Oh. Hold on. This will be interesting. So, oh no. Okay, hold on. Let me see if that works. Clear and keep transformation. Okay, it stays in the same spot. Good. That's all I wanted. So we will now apply in clear parent, clear parent and apply transformation for all these pieces. Then we will apply the subdivision modifier, all the modifiers, and then we will, yeah, join them together. There you go. We will move them to the final collection. Okay. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see really what's part of the same piece here. Okay. So this one's right there, Wraith final. Yeah. This one, we need to clear and keep transformation. Where are you? There you are. Okay. Wraith final. And then we have this one. And we move it to Wraith final. So sometimes, I don't know why, but if you parent something, perfect. If you parent something and then you move it to a different collection, the parented objects will not be moved. Well, they will be moved, but they're grayed out in both. No, they will be moved. Yeah, but they're grayed out in both collections, which is super weird. But we solved it. We just unparented them, applied transformations, and we did that. Okay. Let's fix some issues here and then we're done. Oh, there's one more that we need to add. Welcome back, Zachary. I hope you have enjoyed writing that message. That's something we haven't had before. Hope you enjoyed your Monday too. Mondays can be quite annoying, but you know, maybe you made it a good one. Where's the finger? Finger is missing. Looking real good. Thank you. Thank you, Johnny. Welcome to you too. Hope you have enjoyed your Monday. We're in the final step of creating the figurine. So we created the base mesh, which is hidden right now. Hold on. There it is. Right there. Then we posed it. And we've decided, or I have decided, which pose we're going to use for the final version. So now we're just, you know, we're joining everything together so we can sculpt and add more detail. It's raining. Well, that's a good thing since I enjoy the rain. Ooh, are you somebody that likes to sit in front of a window when it's raining and just enjoy the rain hitting the windows, I guess? That's something you like to do. What I like about rain is the feel afterwards. So once the rain is over, then going out of the house, the air just feels so fresh. I don't really know what it is, but it just feels so fresh afterwards, which is very, very nice. So like, yeah, so clear. That's what I like about it. There you go. Okay. I'm not gonna save it right now. Actually, yeah, let's save it. Okay. So now that everything is in the correct collection, we can apply all the subdivision modifiers. We will also have to apply the scale, otherwise the scale will be messed up in the sculpt. I'm going to show you how that how you can see when the scale is messed up. So if you're working with scale that is messed up, what happens is that the cursor will be stretched. Which piece is currently... Oh, there it is. Can we see it? Okay, these ones are quite... Well, these ones are fine. What if we add a new cube? No, let's add a cylinder. So if you go into the cylinder in scope mode, we can see the cursor is just straight round. But then if we go in here and we change the scale to Z2, if we then go into sculpting, we can see that the cursor gets stretched out because the cursor sort of inhabits the scale of the object. To resolve that issue, you can press Ctrl A, apply scale, and then everything is fine again. Then this is the original or the new original scale. You can see the scale went down to 111 because we applied the scale. Okay. Let's apply all the subdivisions and apply the scale, and then we can begin sculpting. We could probably just apply the scale afterwards to everything together, but I like to do it like individually, just so I can make sure that it actually gets applied properly. There you go. Yeah, rain can be quite nice. I also like just the feeling of, I don't know why, but the feeling of, well, it's raining outside, but I'm inside, so, you know, I'm, you know, the feeling of being, I guess, sheltered or safe, I guess is what I mean, is quite comforting. So, you know, when it's raining, I like to, you know, it feels good. But I heard, you know, some people like to just listen to rain, or, you know, watch, you know, sit in front of a window and just see the rain sort of splashing onto the window and listening to it or watching it, I guess. Not really something I like to do a lot, but, you know, to each their own. Okay, now that we have everything ready, we can join them all together. So, of course, if we go into sculpting, we can see we can maybe change this one. Ooh. But we can't really change any other pieces. What we could do is we could just press D to change which object we want to change. You know, but we can't really change them all together. So what we'll do is we can select them all. There you go. Then we press Ctrl J while we have the core selected. Ctrl J, and now they all are part of the same object. You can see, well, you can't see it, but yeah, they're all now in the same object. But they're still separate objects. Oh, hold on, we actually forgot something. I forgot it. I don't want to blame you for my mistakes. I forgot to apply one modifier. Come on. I don't know why it takes so long to just... Oh, there it is. Go back to the previous state. There you go. There you go. Perfect. And then, of course, they are still separate objects. What we need to do is we need to merge them. How can we do that? Pretty simple, actually. We can just use a retopology tool. So we could go in here and we can just use a retopology remesh modifier. And you can see now everything is perfectly merged. Sometimes, especially for fingers, that doesn't really work that well, just because of how thin they are. Sometimes they just lose out on they're just gone. But for this one it works quite well. We can also increase the size, of course, or decrease the size so we can get more geometry here, make it more accurate. And this way we can create a nice base mesh that we can then use to create the final version. Let's go with something like, I don't know, 0.5 looks to be pretty good. Oh, you can see with sharp there aren't really any fingers. And this one is completely messed up. I don't really know if this one is a good way of doing it. No. No, you can see how messed up it is. We're gonna use voxel. Okay. Do we need adaptivity? What does that mean? Reduces the final face count by simplifying geometry where detail is not needed. Oh. I mean, why not? Let's see. So that's... Oh, you can see it right there. Oh, that's pretty useful actually. Although not really necessary if we're going to sculpt anyway. Okay. There you go. Perfect. Let's go and apply that. And now we have the final mesh. Let's now go into sculpt mode and add some detail. First of all though, it is time to hydrate. Do not forget that. So now comes the fun part. Now we can actually go into the sculpt part of the modeling process. Let's go. Okay. I'm probably gonna hide everything except for the sculpt. Otherwise, it's just annoying to kind of navigate around it. Okay. What is this? Okay. So we have... No, we don't need this. We don't need this. Oh no. Wait, where's the rest? Oh, there you go. Okay. Look at him. He's like, hey. Okay. Let's start. So we had the idea of making him like super ripped as like an Easter egg underneath the clothing that you can see here. But I think now that we have some more natural, I guess, proportions, we can probably go with you know, more I guess a more like slim stature. We're not gonna make him ripped. We're gonna make him... Well, he can still be sort of, I guess, ripped, but not muscular. He can still be lean. That's what I mean. Oh, 150 resolution. Maybe not. Let's start with... I don't know if 25 is too much. I mean, not enough. Let's see. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Perfect. Okay, let's start with 25. So now that we have the blockout, we can refine the blockout and create the actual anatomy. Let's see. Okay, let's start with the this part right here. I'm just gonna block out the overall anatomy, and then we can go into some more detail when it comes to... Well, yeah, blocking out the anatomy first, basically. Refining the big blockout shapes. He's not supposed to have very voluminous shoulders because he's a quite a nimble character. Is that the right word? Hold on, let me look that up real quick. Nimble. N. No, that's not right. Skinny. There it is. A skinny character. Of course, if you have a skinny character, as we said before, the muscles aren't really that voluminous, so we try to sort of translate that over to the sculpt as well. Let's begin with the collarbone. That's sort of where a lot of things originate from. Of course, we're not going to see a lot from this character in the end. But that doesn't mean that we don't need to spend a little bit of time at least to define his anatomy. Okay. Creating the what is it called again? The spine crevice, I guess. Generally, of course, because the muscles go and attach to the spine. Is that actually the case, or do muscles attach to the spine? I would guess so. Yeah, probably. They sort of create this crevice where we have the spine right here, and then they attach like this. Because they have a certain volume, they are like wider, where they sort of bulge out more than the spine, which means we have this sort of crevice like this. If this is the spine right here, they attach right there, and this is why we have this sort of crease right here, which I sculpted in right now. There you go. Right there. Has a slight S curve because he rotates his body. Let's add the neck muscles right here. I wonder if Instagram actually made it and uploaded the image. I'm gonna check that afterwards, after the stream. There you go. So that's the neck. Going all the way into the middle here, connecting to the skull. And then also going in front to the collarbone right there. Perfect. Of course, if this is supposed to be a skinny character, he doesn't really have like very, very big neck muscles. But I like to, for skinny characters, what I like to do is I like to, create big muscles first just to kind of lay them out. And then I like to reduce them again. So I can, yeah. First I like to lay them out, and then I can, still remove them later if I don't need that many or that much. There you go, the shoulder right there. I'm gonna, as I said before, block them out in sculpt mode again, just so I can see if the anatomy is right, and then afterwards we can go into the actual skinny version, I guess you could say. Why is it so laggy? go. Might be quite big, but I'm gonna keep it there for now. Let's add the latissimus, or the rest of the back muscles, I guess. We have this thing right there. There you go. Then we have the lat, which originates from here, goes all the way up to the arm, like this. Perfect. You can see using the clay strip brush might actually be beneficial to not smooth it, because it can create the structure that we actually might need in the end. For example, for the for the ribs, we can maybe even use these lines that we're adding right now. There you go. Let's add the chest here. There you go. I'm sitting like a... I don't know what like it is. There you go, okay. I was sitting like sideways, like, ooh, I'm working here, but my body's facing in this direction. Okay. There you go. Looking pretty good. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna create the general block out today, and then tomorrow we will go really into details. Really, refining the shapes, refining the overall look, and finalizing, hopefully finalizing the scope at least. Let's create some abs here. There you go. Very ripped ghost. You don't wanna see him or encounter him in the night. He's gonna flex you to death. Why can I move these pieces? Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you once more, next Thursday we will have the next feedback session. So if you have a piece that you want to get feedback on, you can post them in the Discord. Link for that should be in the description, or no, in the description. But to the Discord. Also, well, I need to adjust, or add a new link to the Discord Nightbot emote. I mean, command. So we can't really use that right now, but there should be a link in the description, at least on YouTube. And we will now not only cover pieces being posted in the personal feedback channel, we will also cover questions that will be posted in the I guess in the general questions channel. Of course, that questions channel is not only for the stream, but in general, just for, you know, for if somebody has a question, you know, they can post it there and then somebody can answer. It doesn't have to be me. But if we cover them on stream, we can, I guess, cover them more elaborate. You know, typing out like a wall of text isn't really, you know, maybe not the best thing. So I think, you know, if you have questions that you want to have answered, you can post them in the Discord questions tab, and then we're gonna cover them as well. Maybe you don't like, maybe you just have a question, maybe you don't like posting your artworks, then we can still, you know, those streams can still have value to you because you can post your questions instead of your pieces, I guess. That's something that kind of it sprung into my mind when I posted that reminder in the Discord. I think that could be pretty cool. Just kind of, you know, add some more volume. I mean, some more value to the overall stream. And you know, there was somebody before that asked me, hey, how do you sort of, you know, how can you give me reasons, or can you give me something to help me get over the sort of fear of posting your work on social media? Can you give me tips and tricks? That kind of, you know, I kind of got reminded of that when I posted the notification, the reminder. You know, sometimes you don't want to post your stuff, and at least then you can still ask stuff that you can then use in your own pieces. You know what we could do, actually? We could end... I'm not quite sure how I want to end this. Like, how he should end down here, or it. We're going to figure that out later. Oh, of course, we can't use symmetry. That'll be a little bit harder, but we'll do it. It will not be impossible. It'll just be a little bit harder. Why is the crease brush so hard, or why is it so laggy? Doesn't make sense. You know, the clay strips brush is perfectly normal, doesn't do anything weird. But then here it is. The crease brush is not working really, just lagging out like crazy. Yeah, problem here is that we can't use symmetry, which means we have to sort of symmetrize ourselves, which can be quite difficult. We could also just make the head separately and just add it later. That could be actually easier, rather than trying to create the face. Well, he doesn't really have a face, but the teeth, for example, are probably easier to sculpt separate. The hand doesn't really have symmetry, you know, so it's probably in the body as well. So it's probably easier to, you know, for these pieces, it's easier to just sculpt them without symmetry, but it gets kind of hard with the face. So we might actually separate the two, the face or the head and the body, so we can still use symmetry. I think that's what we're going to do. So let me just work on the body. We can do that tomorrow. There you go. Then we have the Adam's apple. Or the middle of the neck, whatever you want to call it. Well, that's not a medical term, but whatever you want to call it, I guess. There you go. Okay, perfect. Staying pretty rough. I'm not trying to add detail right now. This is still the blockout phase. There you go. I think the body looks pretty good. We could work on it some more, but let's go to the arm. We have some more time, so let's not waste it and continue sculpting. So let's go to the elbow first. Just gonna bring in an actual elbow here. There are two bones right there. One sticks out more than the other. I think it's the outer one. Let's see. No, it's the inner one. Yeah, the one that is closer to the body. This one right here. Okay. Adding the major muscle groups first, and then we can go into some more detail. There you go. Wait, no. This is the smaller part of the triceps. The big triceps is on this side, right? Hold on. I think so. Wait. Maybe not. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the big one is close to the body, so it's this one. Get confused sometimes about that. There you go. Okay. So that's pretty good. Let's go to the front. Add the biceps. There you go. You can see here as well, I tried to make it quite muscular first, just so I can place all the proportions in the right position. And then we can still reduce them, you know, just smooth them out, and then we're good to go. If they're more defined, they're more easily, I guess, they're more visible, which makes it easier to place them in the right position. There you go, we have the biceps, then we have the brachialis, I think it's called, right here, which goes all the way to there. No, the shoulder is actually touching, I guess, the biceps, and then the brachialis is behind the shoulder, right there. There you go. Perfect. Look at him. So ripped. Perfect. Okay. Then we have these triangles here. Oh. These triangles, which will be covered by the forearm muscles. So let's go into those now. First of all, they sort of meet in the middle. Right there. And then they, you know, come from here. At least the first one. This one is quite... let's just adjust the general shape a little bit. Okay. I'm enjoying this sculpting session, you know, after a while of not sculpting. Finally, it's, you know, we can do some more sculpting here. Really enjoying it. I don't know why, but sculpting is just, for me, so much more fun than modeling, you know, like the armor. It's still, you know, it's part of, you know, it's important, the modeling, but it just feels so technical. Feels so so stiff. There isn't really that much creativity behind it. It's more about, yeah, like technical stuff. Placing the vertices in the right position, looking at topology, trying to, you know, create good edge loops and good edge flow. All that stuff is just, you know, not really something I would consider a lot of fun. But it had to be done. And I'm kind of glad that I did it, because now I know more about hard surface modeling. Which is something I really wanted to learn more about. And what better project than this, you know? There you go. Those are the big muscles, and then we have some more that are underneath these, which are on this side. So this one is a little bit more complex, this side. We have 4 right here. 4 muscles that we need to implement. This one looks kind of weird. Hold on. First of all, we have a muscle that does this for some reason. I don't know what this muscle is for. I can't remember. I think it's for rotation. And then we have 4 muscles that are in this sort of space right here. We start. Okay. Let me create the main shapes first. Okay. One. Okay. 2. 3. And then we have 1 more right here. These are actually 2. Kind of weird, but that's how it is. Okay. There are still smaller distinctions between them, but those are the general shapes. There you go. Perfect. Okay. I don't know if that's 100% right, but it's a block out, so you know, it doesn't have to be 100% anatomically correct, okay? Let's go in here and make it a little bit thinner. I think that's too thick right now. Perfect. Okay. Usually there's one side of the wrist that is poking out more. So this one is always the outer one. You can see it right here. Hold on, especially if I do stuff like, if I do this. No, hold on. Yeah, it's hard to see, but it's easier to feel. Who's this shark with the sharp claws? Sharp claws. It's hold on. It's the guy behind him. So if you look at the in-game sort of move set, I guess there's a Reaper like Wraith companion that is coming out when he's like in enraged mode, I guess, and then they're fighting together. So there are some attacks where the Wraith comes out and then slices through the enemy. That's basically the one right there. And then there you go. See, he's kind of doing the same motion in the, what is it, in the you know, in our piece. Okay. Okay, let's sort of start with this. There you go. General muscles right here. Of course, the muscle anatomy will be a little bit different if we only have 4 fingers. But, you know, doesn't really change too much. There you go. Okay. Let's add the knuckles. Oh, wait. Should be right here. There you go. One thing you can do to really make fingers look more like fingers in your sculpt, less like sausages, I guess you could say, is just to smooth out and make the inner part between the knuckles a little bit thinner than the knuckles actually are. This way you can make fingers look more like fingers, because the bones in the fingers look like that. They are wider at the knuckles than they are in between. And they actually have like this shape, because there are like nerves that go right here. Which you can, you know, have some more room then if it's more curved, like, like this. So that would be like a bone shape, basically. Very, very basic, I guess, a showcase of it. See, and now just by doing this, we can very easily do that. I don't think the rotation is 100% correct, so let's adjust it a little bit. Yeah. let's grab the good old... Oh, I want to try something. So if we use this brush, you can see it doesn't work how it did before, but that's not really what I'm looking for. What I want to do is I want to use a different... So we could use the pose tool to pose this finger, change the pose a little bit, but what I want to try is the rotation tool. So once we only have what we want to rotate unmasked, we can then use the rotate tool and place the pivot point on the mask border, so where the mask transitions to unmasked. And then hopefully we can create a better pose, or we can pose the finger more easily than using the pose brush. Okay, there you go. We can smooth it a little bit, and then we can go into, I think it's sculpt, set pivot to mask border. There you go. And then if we use the transformation tools, wait, where is it? Oh, see, and now it's perfectly on the finger, which means we can now adjust the rotation. Well, we can't really see it right now. Hold on. Let's go up here. Ta-da! And we can rotate the finger. That's better. Yeah, that's way better. Perfect. Oh, well. We forgot a little bit of a mask right there. I hate when that happens. It's so hard to see when there's just a small piece not selected. There you go. Okay, let's try again. That's better. I don't know why these faces just disappeared, but I think if we just go in here and... Wait, is dynamic topology enabled? Nope. That's the reason. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, that's better. And there you go. We fixed the pose without using the pose brush. The pose brush can be quite annoying sometimes. That's why I don't really want to use it too much. I always like to have alternatives to the pose brush, because the pose brush is bad. Or I don't know how to use it. That could also be the problem. Okay. Let's block out the other fingers. There you go. Very, very simple. Nothing too crazy. That's what the block out is for. I think slowly but surely I'm getting the hang of sculpting hands and understanding the shapes and sort of anatomy. I did it for one of the quick sketches and it worked, you know, it was pretty simple, or I kind of, you know, understood it more. So I'm kind of more comfortable now sculpting them. I remember even just a few sculpts ago, it was really, really weird sculpting hands. I did a few good ones before, even just a year ago or so, but it's still, you know, there's a difference between being able to sculpt something and understanding the sculpt that you do, or the thing that you want to sculpt, and the second part I didn't really get at that point, but the more I do it, the more I understand it now. And the muscles in the hand are actually quite simple if you break them down. You know, there you go. First we thicken the knuckles and then we smooth them down. The middle part. There you go. See how it looks way more like fingers now? And even just like how we want them to look, like skinny. That's exactly what I was going for. Just by changing the, you know, the shape. Making them thick at where the ankles are. Or the joints. Making them thinner. In between. Okay, let's do that for the last two. There you go. You know, as they say, repetition is key. I don't know where I ever heard that, but I think that's something I heard before. At least it sounds pretty true. And I would agree. The more you do something, the more you know what you do. That's why planning isn't really a good solution. You actually have to execute. Usually execution is more important than planning. Because you can plan as much as you want. You're not going to be able to without knowledge of of what will happen. You can't really predict the problems that you will run into. So, you know, you need to start and experience to really learn about whatever you want to, or to do whatever you want to do, or to learn about whatever you want to learn more about. There you go. Okay. One more. This seems to be quite short here. Let me just pull that out a little bit. Okay. That's better. And that's the last joint. Now we just thin out the middle part. And then we have the fingies. The fingies and the base mesh, basically. With this now, we can go into more detail. There you go. So, of course, we're going to separate the head from the body, so we can use symmetry on that, because that's the only real thing that we need symmetry on for the character. And then we can go into more detail. So, we're going to leave it there for today. Tomorrow, we will hopefully finish the body, or the sculpt, let's say, so that we can then afterwards go into the cloak that he's wearing, or the sort of the cloth that he's wearing, I guess. We can add that on top, and then we have everything that we need to finish the figurine. Then we can go into some materials. Well, maybe we're gonna work on the base a little bit as well, but you know, that'll come later. Okay. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, chatting, or just being here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Of course, if you want to always know when I go live, you can join the Discord. I will always post there when I go live. Or if you want to post questions, post your artworks, or you want to contribute, or you want to get personal feedback on your artworks, you can join the Discord. The link should be in the description. On YouTube. Yeah. Thank you for joining. Today there was a new video that I released about my workflow for a 2-hour scope that I've done, trying to recreate a 2D concept art in 3D. So if that's interesting to you, you can watch that as well. The link for the video channel should also be in the description. I'm gonna upload a time lapse of the same scope tomorrow, where you can see the entire workflow basically, from start to finish, from scratch basically. So if that's interesting, of course, you can check that out as well. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining. Maybe I'll see you next time. Until then, take care.